Hello everybody. Oh, I am glad that the football's over and life's almost back to normal, but Derek still looks as if he's had his lollipop took away. The schools will soon be breaking up and the summer play scheme will be taking over. It's based at Fieldwood Social Centre and with the added attraction of our new adventure playground. Barb and I will keep you up to date with all the bits and pieces through the holidays.
Last Wednesday, the Bristol Schools Swimming Association annual final gala took place at the Fieldwood Baths, and Queensdale Junior Mix did very well by winning 3 trophies. They won the Primary Cup, the Dolphin Trophy and the BSSA Shield. The names of the team are, reading from left to right, Mandy McKenney, Zita Ashley, Kim Smith, Maxine Green, Linda Murphy and Deborah Hoskin. Well done, girls.
Now to the weddings, and we all love weddings. The first wedding at Holy Cross last Saturday was Mr. Paul Hudson of Dutmore Road married Miss Anne MacDonald of 30 Points Road. Also at Holy Cross last Saturday, Mr. David Seacole of 79 Connaught Road married Miss Maureen Woods of 7 Drayden Road. Barb had difficulties taking the photos because the wind was playing tricks with the veils and hats.
This is the time of year when all the local clubs go on their annual outings. Last Monday, 104 members of the 65 Club went on their outing to Paynton, and although the weather was not so good, they all had a lovely time. Mrs. Clark took her accordion along with her and got them all singing and foot tapping to her music. Then last Sunday, 5 coaches from the Fieldwood Bingo Club set off on their annual trip to Weymouth. The cost of the trip to old age pensioners was only 20p, and this included a packed lunch as well. Everybody had a marvellous time, but they wished they could have stayed in the pub a bit longer on the way home. And also on Sunday, the ladies of Christ the King went to Lyme Regis. The weather was hot, the food was good, and they all sang to the music of a silver band on the beach. Kate Richards and Ivy Pill got stuck in the door of the loo. What do you think about that then? And on the way home, they persuaded the driver to make a detour so that they could go into the Toby Inn. Well, with a coach full of women, what could he do but agree?
A holiday of a lifetime for 16-year-old Patricia Case of 27 Broadbury Road. Pat flew to Canada last Saturday for a 3-month stay with her great-uncle Harry, who has lived there for the last 60 years. Uncle Harry used to be an orphan at the Downend Homes, and all those many years ago, the home used to offer the opportunity to the young people of a new life, mostly in Canada and America. Uncle Harry was one who made it. While she's there, Pat hopes to visit the States. Forthcoming attractions. Saturday, July the 13th, 2:30, there is a garden fete at St. Philip's Methodist Church, Novers Lane, with all the usual attractions. On a lovely day, you can't beat a good fete. Friday, July the 12th, at 6:30 p.m, Eagle House Boys Club are holding a tennis tournament with the other youth clubs of the estate. Anyone interested, contact Trevor Morgan.
And another what's on, there is a nearly new sale of clothes at Christ the King School Hall on Friday night at 7 o'clock, and plenty of bargains for everyone. And we're pleased to say that the new lounge of the Fighting Cocks is now finished and will be officially open to the public on Monday evening at 5:30. The entertainment for the evening starts at 8 o'clock and it includes the Johnny Stewart Sound, Audrey, female vocalist, Ray Rudge, comedian, and 3 of the Bristol Pipers. And the entertainment for the rest of the week, Wednesday night, the 3-1, which is the regular group, Thursday, Benny Norton with organ and drums, and on Sunday, Corsair on the guitar.
We are sorry to see we are losing this week the services of Major and Mrs. John Spinney of the Salvation Army, Padstow Road. I am sure all the people who've ever met them would agree they are a very kind and helpful couple and has done our community much good. Their stay with us has been a long one, 2.5 years, which they describe as hectic, harassing, but happy. They started the Over 60s Club, now most popular, and their jumbles in shoe sales are world famous. The Major and family will be going to Deptford, South East London. By the way, did you know its real name is Goodwill Community Centre?
The Merrywood Boys Metalwork Department. The metalwork department of the school is well equipped with all the latest equipment. Apart from teaching the boys the traditional metalworking skills, such as forge work and bench fitting, they are also encouraged to develop new opportunities in the subject in the field of jewellery making and lapidary work, which is the skill of being able to cut and polish stones of all types and make them into attractive pieces of jewellery. Being able to design their own pieces of craftwork is another important aspect, and the uses of more than one material in the same job gives greater possibilities for flexibility of thought. For the first 3 years, they are given general courses over all of the craft subjects, and in the 4th and 5th years, they choose which of the subjects they would like to take in the CSE exams. The picture shown gives a small selection of what the boys are achieving, and some of this is after only 2 years' work in the subject, after the 3 schools of Merrywood, Connaught and Knowle amalgamated. In the next report, we shall be looking at the opportunities offered in the motor engineering department.
Take a nice long look at this fella. How many of you recognise him? Think of Eagle House about 14 years ago, and the pop group formed called the Eagles. It's Michael Bryce, who lived at 55 Biddeford Crescent, and with 3 other local boys formed the Eagles. They became very popular and were soon doing lots of work. They turned professional and for 4 years worked as the Eagles. Their music covered 2 films, Some People and Nothing But the Best with Millicent Martin, and 3 trips on the Queen Mary. Then they split. Mike joined a Bath group and went to Morocco, and while there fell in love with the girl singer from Liverpool. They married and formed a cabaret act they called North and West. With this act, they have travelled the world, working with many well-known stars, and spending 8 months of every year in America, where their home is a trailer. Mike still visits his mum and dad whenever he can. Nellie, his mum, told us, when Mike was a young lad, he took his guitar everywhere, even to the toilet and bed. We're glad to say he now takes his wife. By the way, what happened to the Beatles and Rolling Stones? We've still got North and West, so there, see. And a special word before we go to Mary and Joe Mumford, our most devoted fans. Mary said I overdone the beads last week, so just for Mary, I've wore only one tonight, Mary.
And just for Mary tonight, how about this, Mary? Margaret Lockwood Beauty Spot. And to end our programme tonight, we have Jack Darlison, who is a local resident and has been associated with amateur drama all his life. Tonight he is going to tell us a couple of stories. So good night from us.
Good night.
And over to Jack.
The cremation of Sam McGee. There are strange things done neath the midnight sun by the men who moil for gold. The Arctic trails have the secret tales that would make your blood run cold. The northern lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was that night on the marge of Lake Laharge, where I cremated Sam McGee. Now, Sam McGee was from Tennessee, where the cotton blooms and blows. Why he left his home in the south to roam around the poles, God only knows. He was always cold, but the land of gold seemed to hold him like a spell, though he'd often say in his homely way that he'd sooner be in hell. On a Christmas day, we were mushing our way over the Dawson Trail. Talk of your cold. Through the parka's fold, it stabbed like a driven nail. If our eyes we closed, then our lashes froze, till sometimes we couldn't see. It weren't much fun, but the only one to whimper was Sam McGee. Now, that very night, as we lay packed tight in our robes beneath the snow, he turns to me and, "Gap," says he, "I'll cash in this trip, I guess. And if I do, I'm asking that you won't refuse my last request." Well, he seemed so low I couldn't say no. Then he says with a sort of a moan, "It's this cursed cold, and he's got right hold till I'm chilled clean through to the bone. Yet it ain't being dead. It's the awful dread of the icy grave that pains. And I want you to swear that come foul or fair, you'll cremate my last remains." Well, the pal's last need is a thing to heed, so I swore that I wouldn't fail. We started on at the streak of dawn, but God, he looked ghastly pale. He was crouched in the sleigh, and he raved all day of his home in Tennessee. And before nightfall, a corpse was all that was left of Sam McGee. There wasn't a breath in that land of death as I hurried, horror-driven, with a corpse half hid that I couldn't get rid because of a promise given. It was lashed to the sleigh, and it seemed to say, "You may tax your brawn and brain, but you've promised true, and it's up to you to cremate these last remains." The trail was bad, and I felt half mad, but I swore that I wouldn't give in. And I used to sing to the horrid thing, and it hearkened with a grin. Then we came to the marge of Lake Laharge. A derelict lay there. It was jammed in the ice. I saw in a trice it was called the Alice May. I looked at it, thought a bit, then looked at my frozen chum. "And here," said I with a sudden cry, "is my crematorium. Some planks I tore from the cabin floor and lit the boiler fire. Some coals I found that were lying around and heaped the fuel on higher. The flames just soared and the furnace roared, such a blaze you seldom see. Then I burrowed a hole in the glowing coal and stuffed in Sam McGee. Then I made a hike, for I didn't like to hear him sizzle so. It was icy cold, but the hot sweat rolled down my cheeks, and I don't know why. And the greasy smoke in an inky cloak went streaking down the sky. I do not know how long in the snow I wrestled with grisly fear, but the stars came out and danced about ere again I ventured near. I was sick with dread, but I bravely said, "I'll just take a peep inside. I guess he's cooped, and it's time I looked, and the door I opened wide. And there sat Sam, looking cool and calm in the heart of the furnace roar, and he wore a smile you could see for a mile, and he says, 'Please shut that door, you'll let in the cold and storm. Since I left Plum Tree down in Tennessee, it's the first time I've been warm.'" Now something just a little different. A Hindu's paradise. A Hindu died. A happy thing to do when 20 years united to a shrew. Released, he hopefully for entrance cries before the gates of Brahma's paradise. "Hast been through purgatory?" Brahma asked. "I have been married," and he hung his head. Come in, and welcome to my son, for marriage and purgatory are as one." In bliss extreme he entered heaven's door, and knew the peace he ne'er had known before. Scarce had he entered on that garden fair, another Hindu asked admission there. The selfsame question Brahma asked again. "Hast been through purgatory?" "No." "What then?" "Thou canst not enter," did the god reply. "But he who went in has been no more than I." "All that is true, but he has married been, and so on earth has suffered for his sin." "Married? 'Tis well, for I've been married twice." "Begone, we'll have no fools in paradise."